Greetings and welcome to our Essence of Serenity YouTube channel, and a special welcome back to our OEOS tribe. When you hear "May the Force be with you," what do you think of? Most people, they'll think of Star Wars, sci-fi, science fiction. But for those who truly know the depths behind that very statement, "May the Force be with you," what do you feel? You see, the Force is nothing but a direct representation and reflection of the universe. It is the very thing that has created, that has promoted its existence in a way that tries to be telegraphed and mimicked and portrayed in movies and TV. But what is the Force? It's energy. It is literally your inner chi. It is the very thing that gives you life. It is also the very thing that governs whether or not you are balanced. You see, in Star Wars, they utilize the concepts of the light side and the dark side very often. But you should know that these are direct connotations towards who you are from within. What I mean by that is we all have a light side and we all also have a dark side. Most allow their dark side to consume them because they don't know how to control it. Meaning we don't know how to see what our dark side truly is for what it is, rather than it being something that we've been told to believe as far as negative connotations of what darkness really is. You see, we've been programmed to fear it because there's so much power and there's so much truth that's hidden in the dark. And with your own light, you can shine and reveal that very truth. I'm not just speaking on yourself. I'm also speaking on the path that you walk. I'm speaking on anything that you encounter in your life. When you utilize your force, your essence, you will be able to see things in a way that no longer have to be questionable, because you will know right off of what you feel in those very moments how real it truly is. Now, when speaking on the Force, we're not just going to talk about the obvious representations that we're speaking on within self. We're going to talk about the things that most people are aware of when they hear the Force. And we're speaking on the spectacular special effects they put in the movies, as far as how you have the Jedis that can move things with their minds. Now, isn't that a complete representation of what telekinesis is? And those who are not aware of telekinesis is having the ability to move things by free will without having to physically touch it. Utilizing your energies, whether it may be through your third eye or what I call your first eye, or just out your very energy alone. Utilizing the tools of your hands, or even just in a meditative state, able to alter the matter and reality outside yourself. It's all energy. You have those out there who have mastered the ability of telekinesis, being able to move not just any object, but what we would consider heavy objects. It's only heavy because we've been told it's heavy. Now, for those who are familiar, according to the movies, you have the Jedi and you have the Sith. The Jedi were a representation of the light. They were the peacemakers. They were the ones who protected the natural order of things. They were the ones who made sure that it was implemented and established, and even reestablished when it was out of balance. Now, the very energies that opposed what the Jedi stood for were the Sith. They were considered the dark side. They were the ones who wanted to take that very essence and to corrupt it based off their own diabolical agendas. They wanted to destroy. They wanted to completely go against what the Force or what natural energy truly was. See, when it comes to these movies, you need to realize that they're not just for your mere entertainment. They are a direct reflection of who you are from within. Meaning we all have a Jedi and a Sith within us. We all have a light and a dark side. It's how we utilize these energies. It's how we showcase them to change what we want within ourselves, outside ourselves, is how we see them. In other words, you have those out there who do have the ability to heal. And you have those who have the ability to want to destroy. They're nothing more than a war, a spiritual war, mind you. That is what's dictating how this world revolves. And I say revolves because it seems to be a wheel. It seems that things are resurfacing and just starting all over again. See, these things happen for a reason because there is a natural order. As I mentioned before, our morality stems from this natural order. An animal's instincts derive from this natural order. There is a particular code that is embedded within all life that is a justification of why we're created and how we were created. It is meant for us as individuals within whatever realm, whatever time, to know what that meaning is, which I truly feel is one of the main purposes of life to begin with. Because we know that the end result is death, so they say, but it's just a door. And once you go through this door, you will then see what you need to see. But going back to the Force has a way, or I should say your chi, your energy, has a way of bringing you to terms of realizing that everything that you do and every choice that you make has consequences. It will affect a particular thing. It will showcase the love or the hate that you have for a particular person or a particular thing that you don't connect with. The reasoning behind this particular topic or discussion is a reason that I wanted to bring to light. And speaking of the very subject itself, light and darkness, one cannot exist without the other. In other words, if you turn the lights out, you would have darkness. But how would you know it was darkness if you didn't turn the lights out, and vice versa? In other words, you need both. Therefore, when it comes to what we've been told, what light is and what dark is, it's completely wrong. You have to realize that having both the light and the dark is what gives us our balance. You see, when you go out in the world and you put on either your mask or who you truly are as your being, you are showing, you are shining the light of what you want people to see. But when you go home, there's a particular darkness that no one knows about. Why is that? Is it because of insecurities? Is it because there are certain things that have been classified as issues that you need to tend to? Is it something that you feel as an individual need to improve on? You have to realize that you can't utilize a particular thing for self if you classify it as something else outside yourself. In other words, we've been programmed and we've been taught that darkness is a bad thing when it really isn't. Darkness is a part of who and what you are. It is the very thing that justifies your beginning. When you're in a womb, you are surrounded by darkness. And it is then once you exit that particular womb, you will then see the light. But once you come into that light, you must know that darkness is originally where you come from. Therefore, it should be something that is already naturally rooted, but also accustomed to what you do in your everyday life. But because of the way things are and how we come into this particular place, we're having to relearn these things. But I'm here to tell you that once you've acquired a balance of what light and dark truly is, there is nothing that can stand in your way. In other words, instead of trying to be a Jedi or a Sith, or even if you want to be a Jedi, be the gray Jedi. You see, Anakin in the movie, he was, the best way to put it, he was a complete description of what Christ's consciousness really is. When you look at the story of Star Wars, it was really all about Anakin. And you'll see the similarities when it comes to certain religions. But Anakin was a representation of Christ's consciousness. He was willing to go to the dark side to save the ones that he truly loved and cared for. Now, in the movies, they make it seem as if that's a bad thing. And they put it out as if it makes you a very diabolical and insane and twisted person when you utilize these particular aspects of yourself. But the main motive of why he wanted to do this was to save the one that he loved and cared for. So if you were given the opportunity to save one's life by tapping into your own abilities, why wouldn't you do so? Especially if you knew that this particular ability would not corrupt you. If you would utilize it in a sense of a morality way. When it comes to your energy, there is nothing that you cannot do. Manifestation, affirmations, these particular words, these terminologies, they have power. And they have power because individuals like myself put power into these particular terms. Therefore, I will utilize these terms as my own tools to do what I need to do to get to where I need to be without harming no one, including myself. We must seek balance. And as Yoda would say, we must unlearn what we have learned. There's a reason behind that. Like I said, these movies, they go beyond anything that you could ever imagine, especially for a kid. That's why imagination, that is one of the most crucial things that you can take away from a child. Because it is the very thing that taps them into that world that they come from. There are so many things from our childhood that we've stripped away from ourselves because we've allowed society to dictate and govern how we do and how we process and how we go about our everyday lives. But it's by choice. Meaning you can stay in the rat race or you can come out of it seeing what you've been told, taking it and turn it into something that benefits you. Now, as I close, I want all to know that we are all coming into this in a very ignorant way. Meaning, when I say that we've lost touch with who we are, in other words, having to be reprogrammed to something that was more naturally rooted to who and what we are. That is a process that not many are willing to take. You see, we have a tendency to be stuck in our comfort zones. And what I mean by that is to know better is to do better. And for most, or not to say this for most, but you have certain individuals, they don't want to know. In other words, they don't want solutions to whatever issue that they have in their lives. And that's their decision. That's their choice. It's the reason why they're imbalanced. because they're not willing to shine light on the darkness within themselves to work on what needs to be worked on, to heal what needs to be healed, to love what needs to be loved. But when you have an individual such as myself who thrives off of wanting to become a better person, if that's even a thing, but I'm speaking morally, not what has been defined as being better, but morally within myself. The more I work on these things, the more I truly see what I couldn't see before. And it's up to you to see that very same thing. I would also like to make mention that another reason behind the inspiration of this particular topic was due to a friend of mine that just recently passed. I was just made aware of this. And this particular individual loved Star Wars just as much as I did. He understood the concepts, the true concepts behind what made it so phenomenal. And I just want him to know that I know that he's out there and I feel him. And I'm very pleased and thankful to have crossed paths with this individual. Rest in peace, Val. So with that being said, I would like to once again thank you for all the support that y'all have been giving us and all the feedback, not just in our comments, but also through reaching out in the ways that you do reach out. We greatly do appreciate all the support that you've been giving us, and we're going to continue to keep doing what we're doing. We truly enjoy the improvements that we've been making as far as our self-discoveries when doing this, because this is something new. And at the same time, we also knew the importance behind why this needed to be done. So for those who truly take to our material, we truly do thank you for receiving that energy. And as Yoda would say, may the Force be with you, and may peace be with all. Thank you.